Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Podcast. Thoughts, analysis, and information to help you succeed in your fantasy football leagues. I am your host, Chad Lyon, and joining me is Nick Hunsicker.
Yo!
And our producer, Mitchell Bird.
Hello!
This is our Week 8 Thursday Night Football and 1 o'clock game slate preview. How you been, Nick?
So good.
So good. How's the woods treating you, buddy? You didn't go out today.
I didn't go out today. I'm getting sick of sitting out there. And if I do see anything, it's too far away. And just getting over it.
Sometimes the whitetail patience will get to you.
I know.
It's worse than turkey.
I'll be back out there next week. Don't worry.
My thing is with turkey, at least, even if it's 200 yards away, it's like he's out there.
Yeah, he's out there. Yeah.
There could be a buck laying down 30 feet from you all day.
Never know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about the audible side of Spring Gobbler that gets my goat. Top 3 list. In lieu of spooky season, Nick, give me your top 3 scary / horror / slasher movies.
Yeah. So Last Shift was a movie that I watched with my friend on Netflix, like, I don't know, 10 years ago. It came out in 2014. So probably when it came out, my friend Drew was over and we just put on this movie. It's based in a police station and like the Manson family haunts it. And it is all over the place, but it feels like a 7-hour movie and it's an hour and a half long.
Right.
I don't know why. It really messes with your mind. Like, I like those kind of movies.
Cool.
And then Us by Jordan Peele. I love that movie. Jordan Peele is terrific when it comes to like thriller horror movies.
Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
It's starting to grow though.
Yeah. Yes. And then American Psycho is one of the best thrillers, like slasher movies ever.
Yep. Big fan of that one.
Yep.
Good list. How about you there, bird person?
I'm going to do 28 Weeks Later.
That's a great one.
That's definitely.
Sprinting zombies.
I know, right?
It's terrifying.
You say scary, that's what I'm thinking of. The Grudge, when it came out, I was young enough, and that was one that kind of put the chills in my back.
Yep. Yeah. I hated that.
I know, right?
Dude, one time, quick on that. I was in the basement messing with our furnace. This is back when this movie came out. My wife walked to and she knew, like, I hated that noise. It would just make my skin crawl. The light switch was at the top of the basement steps. She hit that switch and just stood at the top of the steps making that noise. And I'm like, turn it back on. The Grudge is a good pick.
That's good, yeah. And I guess I'm going to go with Blade. Just the trilogy, honestly.
There's vampires in
the
it.
vampires, man, just slashing. Again, some fast stuff in that. I like it, yep.
Yeah.
Love it. Wesley Snipes.
What do you got?
My list, I will start with American Psycho.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
So good.
It was my introduction as a teenager to Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Dude.
If you're going to watch it for the first time, try not to ruin it for yourself, Gracie. Because we watched it together and she ruined it in like the first 15 minutes. Enjoy the movie the first time, then watch for the subtle stuff.
Yes, strong agree. Another one for me, I saw it when I was younger. The movie came out in the late 80s, is The Shining.
Yeah.
Man. That was a creeper, man.
Yeah.
As a kid, like, man, this movie's scary. Yeah, love The Shining. And number 3 is, you might argue, like, well, that's not it. Yeah, it is. There's vampires in it. The Lost Boys.
Okay.
There you go.
Love The Lost Boys.
Fair enough.
It's a great movie. All right. Good top 3 list. Let's move on to football stuff. Start with Thursday Night Football. The Vikings at the Rams. We're going to get a good Thursday night game.
I think so.
I hope so. They can always be such a flop.
Not this one.
Not this one. Cooper Kupp is practicing in full.
That's great.
Going to get him back this week, I think.
I hope
Is he going to get traded?
Yeah, apparently.
What would be your favorite landing spot if he did?
Him and Matt Stafford going to the Giants. As much as I would hate it as an Eagles fan.
Come on. I don't think that
It would
happens.
make Malik Neighbors worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, give me the Buccaneers.
That could be fun. That could be. They need it now.
Yep. I would love that.
Yep.
Him and Baker know each other. So if he starts this week, you're starting him?
Yeah.
you could make the case if you've been winning without him, you might have a good enough option to keep Kupp out of your lineup with the possibility of like an ease back in kind of game for him.
Yeah, because we're going to say the same thing about Hawkinson.
Right. Yep.
You want to give him a week.
That is literally in my notes.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe the guys you've been using have been banged up because everybody's
hurt.
So I think you can be all right starting him. Nakua has been set by the Rams as designated to return from IR, which opens a 21-day window, so keep your eyes on that. Who is your favorite pass catcher behind Kupp this week, assuming he does play? And I think he's going to. Who would you like behind him?
Aaron Williams.
Yeah, pass catcher.
Yeah. That's how bad it is. I mean, 2-2, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me Atwell. He's been serviceable flex.
Yeah.
Any interest in Parkinson this week?
Not really.
I just think even like waiver wise, there's some better options at this point.
I think so.
You're starting Kyron, obviously.
Yeah.
Any concern at all for a down game against Minnesota's defense? They're solid against the run, 6 against the running back position, but the dude's he's a touchdown machine.
Yeah, a touchdown machine gets like 20 carries a game.
Kupp returning could be a big help.
Yeah.
Pull a little attention off him.
I hope so.
Start Sam Darnold?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're starting Jefferson. Jordan Addison is a flex?
Yeah.
66 yards on 3 catches last week.
And I think you could probably flex Jalen Naylor too. He had 4 catches.
Okay.
To his 3, 76 to his 66.
Okay. Rams defense is 13th against the receiver position, just to note that. Yeah, I like Jordan Addison this week, actually. Let me pull up real quick because I was looking at it the other night.
I like Jalen Naylor too. After Jalen Naylor was like the wide receiver 1 there for a week or two when both of them were out, he showed a lot more than I expected out of Jalen Naylor. He's a serviceable wide receiver 3 for that team.
Okay. And
the Rams' pass defense is pretty bad. So
yeah, not great. Maybe I was looking at somebody else. I thought his targets were better than this. I mean, last 3 games out, 4, 8, and 4 targets. You got to think, though, that, I mean, he was banged up. Then they had a bye. So you got to think that this, starts to pick up. I think Jordan Addison is a very good receiver.
Yeah, he's really good.
I did read at one point that he's falling out of favor in Minnesota, but I haven't really seen.
I don't know what's going on with that team. You lose one game and now you want to make all these changes?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
think Jordan Addison is going to be a very good NFL receiver, as far as dynasty speaking. And if there's people out there frustrated with him, I would go buy Jordan Addison if I could.
Yeah, go get Jordan Addison.
Okay. Aaron Jones, questionable with a hamstring injury, but he played through it last week. So all signs point to him probably playing this week, but keep your eyes on it. Short turnaround. If he plays, you're starting him, right, Nick?
Yeah. In a condensed role last week, he was fine.
I just want to check his tag. He doesn't have a tag. So
yeah. So you're starting Aaron Jones.
Yeah, for sure. Practiced fully. Does not have a designation for Thursday. So giddy up with Aaron Jones. He is around running back 10 for the year. Is he a trade candidate for you at just about 30 years old with a nagging hamstring as far as redraft goes?
Yeah.
Maybe if you are deep at running back and you're struggling at receiver, I don't know, that hamstring and his age.
Yeah, see if you can get a receiver for him if you're deep at running back.
I'm not crazy, right? That's a little concerning.
Yeah.
And he's already dealing with it, and here we haven't even, we're at week 8. It does worry me.
You're running out of time, so.
Yeah. Hawkinson could return this week. Either way, like you had mentioned, when he does play, I'm probably going to give it a week before I start him. And unless I'm reeling for a win, I'll roll a dice at that point.
Yeah.
If if I only have a couple wins on the year, it's like, I drafted him for a reason. I guess if he's playing, I'm starting him. You same with you?
Yeah.
Same idea?
Yeah. Sucks that it's a Thursday night game.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Because you'd like to be able to Sunday game, like a Sunday 4:00 game, ideally. Like, all right, fine, I'll roll the dice. Let's see what happens. But Thursday, you're kind of forced. You're forcing your own hand. I have to play him or not.
Right. I don't know, man. If you have to think that if he's out there, he's probably ready to go.
I think so.
But he does need to get on the same page with Darnold, and there's all that stuff too. So that stuff matters. Start the Minnesota defense.
Yeah.
Agree. All right. That's it for Thursday Night Football. Let's move on to the 1:00 games, and we'll start with the Packers at the Jaguars. ETN still questionable with a hamstring injury. Nick, if he plays, both him and Bigsby are a flex, correct? How do you look at that?
Yeah. Tank Bigsby is something else.
He looks good.
Yeah, he's something else.
He looks real good.
He makes that run offense look a little bit better.
ETN was limited today.
And Dearness Johnson really was in the ETN role.
Yeah.
He just
didn't really do much
didn't
with it.
do
He got
anything
like 9 fantasy points,
Yeah.
something like that, 9 PPR points.
So you were right, Tank Bigsby outscored him, but I kind of figured that's, Dearness Johnson would be in that same ETN role.
I'm taking a victory lap on that one.
Yeah, you should.
23-9, Bigsby over Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really like Tank Bigsby. And if you're telling me that ETN's out, to me, he's an RB2 all day long.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I still think there is, without ETN, there's flex consideration for Dearness Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets a few targets. He can turn that into 10 points. He just about did. Right?
Yeah.
So I think he's someone you can stash on your bench. I don't know. The ETN and the hamstring thing, I don't have a very good feeling about it.
No.
I don't care what Peterson's saying. He's got to be already falling out of favor a little bit. You can't ignore what Tank Bigsby's done.
Yeah, no.
You can't do it. So he is just, to me, he is a better all-around running back than ETN. Now, they did try to throw the ball to Bigsby, and it just bounced off his hands like a couple cinder blocks. But
yeah.
Yeah, give me Bigsby all day as an RB2 without ETN. I'm a little more skeptical if ETN plays, though. I got to see how that pans out.
Yeah, I think I could probably flex both of them.
Okay. As far as pass catchers go, it's just Brian Thomas Jr. and Ingram.
Yep.
You're starting them both.
Yep.
They're using Thomas all over the field now.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
Yeah, he's really good.
Looks great.
Yeah.
He went from just kind of ripping down the sideline to, you look at his routes now, and it looks like someone dropped spaghetti on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he is all over the place. They're moving him around. Are you bullish enough to call Thomas a receiver 1 for the rest of the season?
No. Wide receiver 2 comfortably. It scares me because Gabe Davis, back down to earth after this week, but Gabe Davis did have 2 touchdowns last week and then a touchdown the week before. So, there is the fact that Gabe Davis seems to be the red zone wide receiver.
I'm bullish enough to call him a low-end receiver 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime he's played anyone, Houston, he dropped 21. That was just a few weeks ago. I don't know, man. I think this guy is here. Let's do this. In Dynasty, rank these guys. So we're going to re-rank.
Oh boy.
Ready? Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunes.
Malik Neighbors.
Yep. Agreed.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Agreed.
Then Marvin Harrison, then Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Marvin Harrison is this elite prospect that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And
that's starting to look
they're just not using him right.
No, and I don't know, man. We'll get to him later, Marvin Harrison. But yeah, I agree. Thomas is he was considered the 4th.
Yeah.
Now we're putting him at 2.
Just a deep ball threat.
Yeah.
He's more than that.
He's way more than that.
He's way more than that.
You should be able to, with no buys this week, you should be able to fade Lawrence.
Yeah, he was going to have a great day. Again, the game script just changed when they got out.
Yep. He almost had a second touchdown to Kirk.
Yeah.
Just, what are you going to do, man? 10 Tank Bigsby kind of took the game over. Your Packers side, you're starting. Did we miss anything for Jacksonville? That's it, right? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
They're the only relevant ones.
Okay. You're starting Jordan Love.
Yeah.
You're starting Jacobs. I know, but
temper your expectations this week.
Against the Jags?
There's 6 against the rush. Temper it a little bit.
I mean, well, for me, I'm tempering them every week anyway. I just don't like what Jacobs does with his
that's
workload.
True.
So,
that's true.
Well, I think if you have them, like...
Yeah, you're probably going to play them.
Yeah. The volume, there's too much volume not to.
Jordan Love is having fun cosplaying as Brett Favre this year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He looks good, man. He looks real good. Top tier dynasty quarterback.
Yeah.
How about Tucker Kraft?
I'm impressed.
He's kind of moving the needle a little bit for me. Is he getting to the point where we're in must-start territory?
I think so.
Other than getting 9 targets a few weeks back, he generally gets about 4 or 5 targets per game. Thing is, he gets like these high-value red zone targets. He's got 5 of them, 5 red zone targets, and he has 4 touchdowns. Hyper efficient.
Yeah.
And they've only really started using him since like week 4.
Yeah, when Musgraves went out.
Yes. So since then, he has scored 17, 24, 3, and 12.
Yeah, you have to think he's shown enough to where, okay, he's tight end 1, Musgrave, when he comes back, tight end 2.
He certainly looks the part.
Yeah.
He fits that mold. His snap percentage is around 84%, so he's out there quite a bit.
Field.
Fantasy points per route run is 0.59. Fantasy points per target, 2.28.
Good enough.
Again, hyper efficient with his targets. Are you going to buy it rest of the season?
Yeah.
I'm buying
Tucker Kraft.
I'm buying the dip, as they say. Buying it. Listen, we've done this quite a bit. I know it's probably getting old, but rank the Packers receivers.
Well, last week it was Romeo Doubs he was the winner of the F it, someone's down there somewhere from Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So he outsnapped Jaden Reed, and he seems to do that a lot when they're all on the field. I think Jaden Reed is still the higher upside receiver, so I'm still going to go Reed, Doubs, Watson.
Wicks at 4.
Wicks at 4.
I agree 100% with everything you said. Reed does not see a lot of targets. It's just we were actually talking about him before we started. If you look at his numbers, he's almost a high-end flex, and he's being used as like a receiver too. But
yeah.
the good thing is, as long as your team is, which most people's haven't, but if you're fairly healthy, he probably has been riding the flex for you anyway. Yeah. So that's good. He like we just talked about Tucker Kraft, very efficient with what he gets. So with all that said, though, how concerned are you for the rest of the season? It's just like a weekly headache, like muddled mess. You just can't ever figure out. I feel like it's Reed and Doubs, and you should probably just avoid Watson.
Yeah, I think so.
Watson's going to drop 32 points this week. You watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
he'll be the winner of the effort. He's down there somewhere.
Yeah. But give me Reed and Doubs overall for the vast majority of the rest of the season. Yeah. Reed then Doubs, but won't be surprised if it's Doubs and then Reed. But Reed gets that weird usage that Doubs doesn't get to see.
Right.
All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Cardinals at the Dolphins. Tua's coming back. He's coming
this
back.
week?
I think so.
I thought it was week. Oh yeah, this is week 8.
This is week 8.
This is week 8. Oh,
you got to be ready for it. Good Lord, those people with stock in Dolphins players are just rejoicing, which is a very reasonable reaction.
Yeah. Did you see that they asked him if he would wear the Guardian cap, and he said no?
That seems smart. That's probably a good idea. Come on, man.
It's a personal choice.
Okay.
I've heard enough about that the last few years, I guess. Yeah.
I suppose.
To each their own. So if I'm him, I'm wearing it.
Yes.
But whatever.
Yes, man. Man, well, why wouldn't you? So what do we expect out of Hill, Waddle, and the Dolphins' backfield against a very subpar Cardinals defense? Right back to
I hope it goes back to what it was.
Like at the drop of a hat, right back to it?
Yeah, I hope so, but who knows what his brain looks like? I don't know.
Yeah,
Give me another guy. Give me a week. I want to see what the offense looks
with
like.
Tua, but you're throwing Tyreek Hill in there with
Tyreek Hill's getting
emphatically like, get him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Probably Waddle too.
Yeah.
And I feel like you should feel better about HN.
Yeah.
Like finally some pressure comes off of him.
Good enough to get by, but
boy, was he dealing with everybody just coming for his head every game.
Yep.
Yeah. I shouldn't be making head jokes. That's not nice. I did not mean that. I did not mean that. Listen, the Cardinals are 25th against the wide receiver position and they're 20th against the running back position. As long as Tua is like ready,
okay,
these skill guys should be fine.
Yep.
They should kind of start coming back to what you've become accustomed to. Yeah. So let me ask this then: Kyler or Tua this week? I know.
The Dolphins are the best team against the pass right now.
They are. Give me Tua.
Yeah.
Same page.
I'm going to have to go Tua.
Yep. Agree. Cardinals are a tough start this week outside of James Conner. The Dolphins are absolutely horrible against the run. 27th against the running back position. Conner bounced back great last week.
Yep.
I expect it to continue.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of what's going on here for that 1 week, couple weeks ago, but
Conner's
we're back.
Like,
we're
good.
No.
We're good.
You guys set up the king of this backfield. I am.
Yeah.
Let me just show you again. Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
So yeah, smash start. I want to fade Marvin Harrison Jr. this week.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Can you afford to?
He was my first pick in the first round of your redraft. I can't.
Yeah.
I have to start him.
Yep, that's his ADP, man. A lot of people were taking him, mid first, and a lot of people were also taking his ADP was generally like around the 1-2 turn. Mm-hmm. But I mean, even there, you kind of are stuck, man, unless you panicked early and moved him. Him and Kyler are not on the same page.
No. And he's not getting used the way he should.
I don't like his route usage.
Nope.
Miami is first against the receiver position. He's going to have Ramsey all game.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. I would like to fade Michael Wilson as well this week.
Yeah, probably.
Though that's a lot easier to do with him than it is Marvin Harrison.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't want to start a Cardinal if I can avoid it outside of James Conner.
We're 2 weeks away from the new Call of Duty dropping. So just prepare. If you're a Kyler Murray owner, prepare for after the Jets game.
Yeah.
Really downhill. As if it hasn't been bad already.
Yeah. However, on targets alone, I think you have to start Trey McBride.
Yeah. He's
9,
the only
8, and 7 targets.
Player. Yeah.
Last 3 weeks, 9, 8, and 7 targets, that is, not fantasy points. The Dolphins are third against the tight end position, so maybe temper the expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you have them, you're starting.
You're starting them.
All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Jets at the Patriots. What Patriots can we start in this game?
Drake May.
Okay. Whoa, you going to start Drake May against the Jets D?
Sauce Gardner's probably not going to play.
Oh, really?
DJ Reed is out.
Okay. All right.
Drake May's looked
He's
pretty amazing the last 2 weeks.
He really has, man. It's crazy what some competency can do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Hunter Henry.
Yep.
He's looked fantastic.
I think Hunter Henry's relevant again.
Yeah.
Demario Douglas was on track to have a really good day, and then he got hurt.
Right.
Jalen Polk has looked awful. And when he got thrown in after Demario got hurt.
Oh, he can't catch.
He can't catch.
You know who can? Keyshawn Boutte.
I don't know that I like any receiver outside of Demario right now. Hopefully they get Javon Baker in the mix.
So redraft, agreed. I have mild interest in Demario Douglas for redraft. I've got mild interest in Drake May, depending on my quarterback situation, maybe more than mild. And I've got pretty high interest in Hunter Henry in redraft. However, in Dynasty, I have interest in Keyshawn Boutte.
I think I'm going Javon Baker over him.
Have we seen much?
Not yet.
See,
it's going to be. He's a really good receiver.
I loved him when we were doing our rookie. I love Javon Baker.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great.
I added Booty in a league.
Yeah.
That name is just like, why?
Booty.
Why can't it be Boutte?
Boutte.
Yeah, so May, Henry, DeMario when healthy.
When healthy, yeah.
What about Ramondre?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah,
he's ineffective when he does play.
Yeah.
No, I'm out.
I was telling my wife weeks ago, it's like, you got to sell him high, sell him high, sell him high. And now the crash has started.
Yep.
She's like, what do I? I'm like, you can't.
And now they're going to be throwing the ball 40 times a game. So,
yep.
Really takes the ball out of his hands.
Get right game for Rodgers and Adams?
Yes. This is the one to do it.
I would think so.
Their schedule after the Patriots is not pretty.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty all year, quite honestly. They've had a tough schedule. One good sign, silver lining you can take from last week, was that Wilson and Adams both had 9 targets.
Yep.
So do we expect that kind of target share to continue for both?
Yeah, and Breece Hall had 9 targets.
Yeah, that looked great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about him in a second. Pretty well 50-50 between these two.
Yep.
Does it start to lean Adams' favor, or do you think it stays roughly 50-50 with some obvious exceptions from time to time?
I think everybody panicked a little bit. I think we all saw Adams was going back to Rodgers.
Oh, no, Garrett Wilson.
Oh, no.
Yep.
But I think you're okay. I think Aaron Rodgers likes Garrett Wilson and knows that he's an elite receiver. Make sure he gets the ball, too. I don't think it's going to be just one or the other.
Yeah, listen, Garrett Wilson's a killer.
Yeah.
Rodgers knows that. Say what you want about the guy, but as far as stuff like, he knows.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just not utilize a guy of his caliber. He's a 1 on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if that, and I think it will, if that stays for the most part 50. Listen, there's going to be some games where Adams has 13 targets and Wilson has 8. That's going to happen, but it's better than 13 for him and 4 for Wilson.
Right.
I think this is going to be okay.
Yeah.
If Breece Hall can do what he just did against the Steelers defense, imagine what he's going to do against a 30th ranked Patriots defense.
Yeah.
This is an area where Adams is clearly a massive help.
Yes. With
both him and Wilson on the field, it's like pick your poison between those two and Breece Hall. Someone's going to eat every week.
Good luck.
Yeah. Listen, with some gelling, this could be a potent fantasy offense all the way around now. Adams helps that a lot.
Should.
Hell, even Tyler Conklin stayed involved. He got in the end zone.
Yeah.
Though I imagine overall he's going to be the one that takes the big fade.
Gets faded out.
But it's like, that's 11 fantasy points.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Ravens at the Browns. Lamar Jackson. I mean, just
unstoppable.
Ridiculous against the Bucs. 5 touchdowns. Threw for 5 touchdowns. This is going to continue this week. I'm not saying he's going to go out and throw 5 touchdowns, but boy.
He's so good.
Oh, the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Lamar Jackson looks great. Like he got the MVP last year and looks better this year than he did last year.
Yeah.
And again, didn't agree with him getting MVP last year. Should have been CMC, but I'd agree with it this year.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic.
I can see it this year. It's him or Josh Allen this year.
Derrick Henry's so good.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Guys,
what's there to say?
I don't know what to say.
Like, that hasn't been said about Henry at this point.
The guy is just, he's an anomaly.
Yeah.
We got something to say here, though. We think of Rashad Bateman.
Been great.
Kind of has.
Yeah. The last 2 weeks especially, but we were going over numbers, and he's been at least a flex the last 4 weeks.
He's been a flex essentially all year.
All year.
We just weren't sure. It's hard to buy.
Yeah.
So every game so far from week 1 till last week against Tampa in week 7, he has scored, this is PPR, 7, 8, 11, 3, 15, 11, 22. I think what this really comes down to is Jackson and Henry are your smash starts every week, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could have just started playing fantasy this year and you know that.
Right.
I worry that it's just like this dart throw, roll of the dice for Flowers, Bateman, Andrews, Likely, and we'll talk about Andrews in a second. But for all those guys, like what?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Who's going to get the ball? It seems like Zay Flowers gets blanketed by the number one corner.
Yeah.
And that's really opening up Rashad Bateman.
Sure.
But Rashad Bateman's always been a good receiver. He's
been hurt a lot. He essentially gets 4 to 5 targets a game from week 1 on. 5, 4, 4, 1, 8, 4, 4. So we can say it's
flex
4 to 5 targets a week. And yeah, I think you can. I mean, people are flexing Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather flex Rashad Bateman.
Why can't you flex Rashad Bateman?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if he's a guy who made it through waivers, I doubt he did. But if you were able to add him, I think he was probably a good add.
Right.
Yeah, give me some Rashad Bateman. How about Mark Andrews? What are we doing?
I don't want to have this conversation.
Oh man, let's pull up some Mark Andrews because man, he isn't any worse than what Travis Kelce's been. Now that we have a bigger sample to look at, it's like, well, nobody was cutting Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Every game. So this is going to sound so much better. Now, at 4 weeks, you looked at it and you went, oh, man, 5, 13, 0, 0. Stretch that across 7 weeks now. You got a bigger sample size. This is probably more like what it's going to be. Now, he's going to have those floor games as like a 2, a 3. It is. But from week 1 on, 5, 13, 0, 0. That's when we started like, all right, man, do we cut the guy? Like, what are we doing here? Since then, 13, 18, 24. In the targets the last 3 weeks, 5, 4, and 4. Not fantastic by any stretch. But I don't think that this is a guy who should be on waivers. I think we panicked a little bit. To be fair, we're not the only ones who panicked.
Yeah.
The whole fantasy community was like, we're done. I don't know, man. I think if you could have went out and got him back, or if you're somebody who banked off somebody dropping them in your league, I think he's fine.
I don't love it, but 2 weeks in a row, he scored 2 touchdowns last week, scored a touchdown the week before.
Yep. And the 13-point game in week 5 was just off catches and yards.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it's also a 5 touchdown game from Lamar.
Sure. Put that in the mix too.
Yeah.
But I'm going back. I do hold firm. I do not think that this guy shouldn't be unrostered.
Yeah, but I think I have him on my bench.
I personally don't want to deal with the headache. But, if you're in tight end hell, you could...
I guess you could get by with it.
You could do worse.
Yeah.
It could be Colby Parkinson or Mark Andrews.
Right. Mark Andrews,
right,
yeah.
Right. I mean, these are the guys that, he would have sitting on waivers with.
Yeah.
Now, K-Dot and Mark Andrews...
Definitely
with the recent things that are going on in Tampa.
Even before that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And now you add this. This is just more of a boost.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's a tough call. But you know what? Again, outside of Jackson, outside of Henry, they're all kind of tough calls, man.
Yeah.
Even Zay Flowers, who I've been pounding the table for. And I have him in a couple leagues, and I'm going to keep starting him. But he's got this ankle issue he's dealing with. It looked nasty, but he didn't really leave the game. Very short period. I think he is hurting, though.
Yeah, I think he was used as a
decoy.
A decoy.
Agreed. All right. Peace out, Watson. Hello, Winston.
Yep.
That's a boost?
We've been asking for it.
It's a Njoku.
Yep.
Njoku,
immediate boost for him.
Yeah, it's a real bump there. The whole team is going to get a boost. Cedric Tillman. What are your thoughts on Cedric Tillman?
I think he replaces Amari Cooper pretty comfortably.
So it's going to be him and Judy. Just do for Judy.
He only caught 1 of the 5 passes that he...
With Jameson, rest of the season, Tillman or Judy?
Tillman.
And even then, it's like, I don't know if I want to flex him. Any of them. But
I want to flex Tillman.
If you're forced... Oh, you want to flex
I want to flex Tillman. I think Jameis is going to love him.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Flacco found out that he loved him at the end of last year.
Yeah, most media outlets are screaming to add Tillman, and I agree.
Yeah. I did go out and get Jerry Jeudy too, in the podcast league, because I think he does get a boost.
I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so. That was in a trade, I imagine.
Yeah.
What'd you give?
4th, a 3rd. Somebody I didn't care about.
That's fine. I think it's fine.
I don't even remember the player that I traded for him. So
how about Nick Chubb?
He looked okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of other running backs that didn't look nearly as good as him.
Yeah.
I mean,
He looked okay.
11 carries, 1 reception. He got 10 PPR points. He was a flex. He got in the end zone.
Slowly gonna work him in.
Sure.
I think they know that they got to be careful. He'll have his weeks, but it's not going to be the Nick Chubb that we grew to love.
Right.
So temper your expectations, but
it's more of a flexi type thing.
Yeah.
That could get better as the year goes. It's just like you might find yourself in week 13, week 14. It's just like, oh, he's like an RB2 now. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
For sure. But right now I'll flex him. If I have him, I'll probably flex him unless I have better options. Again, you got him super late. Yep. If you've been winning at this, but this is again another one where if you've been
winning, don't plug him in yet.
Right. Maybe obviously you got there without him. But if this is like, Hawkinson, if you've been losing and you're struggling, you only got 2 or 3 wins,
roll the dice.
Throw him in, man. Yep. I mean, he at the end of the day, it's Nick Chubb.
Right.
Like Hawkinson, at the end of the day, it's TJ Hawkinson.
Right.
All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Eagles at the Bengals. Woo, Barkley got a revenge game.
Sure did.
Good God. So much so that Hurts threw the ball like 15 times, and that's all it took.
Love it.
But man, Devonta Smith took a back seat due to that low passing volume. A.J. Brown did fine, left you with 19 PPR points. I mean, he obviously start Brown and Barkley every single week. That's easy. I think you should start Hurts.
Yep.
Some people have been wondering, like, I'm like, well, I suppose you could. Maybe if you picked up Baker at the beginning of the year.
2 rushing touchdowns. Like,
yeah.
He was great last week.
He'll get you there in ways that other guys can't.
Right.
And who cares how you get there as long as you get there.
Right.
If he plays, you can start Goddard. I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
We have to. Devonta Smith, I mean, he gets a pass for this, right? I mean, that was.
Yeah. In clear running games where we know the Eagles are going to give the ball to Saquon Barkley 30 times.
It's him and AJ.
It's just him and AJ.
Yeah. Keep starting Smith as a receiver too.
Keep flexing him.
This game feels like it could be a shootout.
Could be.
I will. I'm going to consider Devonta a receiver too until further notice.
Yeah.
Now we go across the next 3 games, and I may go back on that a little bit.
I mean,
he's too damn talented.
He's so good, but I think you just have to be careful with whatever situation. This week, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I do. Listen, neither of these defenses are particularly great by any means, especially in the air.
Right.
Yeah, give me some Devonta Smith this week.
Yeah, I'm okay with Devonta this week. But in weeks, like I said, where they're giving the ball to Saquon Barkley, which apparently should be every week, I think that they need to take what we saw last week and roll with it.
I want him to be healthy by the end, though.
That's also true.
That's a little concerning. Like, we don't be giving this guy 30 touches every week, please.
Yeah.
I would say confidently start all Bengals. Burrow, Chase, Higgins, very obviously. The Eagles cannot stop anything through the air.
Yep.
I say that as a fan of the Eagles. So
now, Jamar Chase is going to see a lot of Quinyon Mitchell, who has been like shutting people down.
I don't think he shuts Chase down.
But he's not going to. This is his real.
This will be a real test.
Test.
I think he's going to get the best grade he's going to get is a D.
Yeah, it's going to be
tough. He might get an F. Yeah. You're asking a lot for a rookie. Yeah. I don't care who it is.
And then T. Higgins is going to see Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
T. Higgins.
This could be a big T. Higgins game.
Yeah.
But I think they're both fine.
Yeah.
I confidently smash the start button. Ground game's a little different story, though, for the Eagles defense. Where are we at on Chase Brown this week?
Over the last 3 weeks, Chase Brown has 37 rushes for 143 yards. Moss has 21 for 44. I don't know. And then they both have caught 8 passes in those 3 weeks too.
17 touches for Brown last week, 9 for Moss.
Right.
I don't know. Eagles are 5th against the running back position. I will still cautiously flex Chase Brown, but this is like a volume-based play.
Right.
I mean, 17 total touches. You can't really not.
Right.
All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Colts at the Texans. Where are you at with Anthony Richardson in redraft?
I don't want him.
That's tough. I don't know what
He completed 10 passes.
Yeah. He did look a little better. He really did. But
I guess
you can take that and run with it for Dynasty, but the redraft thing, man. Listen, do you remember when Josh Allen first came in the league and had his first full season? I mean,
sure.
It was, dude.
They should start Joe Flacco. If they want to win.
That's fine if you want to win, but you got to develop your guy. Listen, there's a lot of echoes off of this Anthony Richardson thing that are very reminiscent of Josh Allen to me. And I kept yelling, just give him a full.
I think Josh Allen was better than this, though.
He probably was a little better. His throws, he was terribly off target that rookie season. Sure. And this is Anthony Richardson's rookie season. That doesn't mean you just lean into it and say, yeah, but it's his rookie season, so I'm going to keep starting him in my redraft league. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
In Dynasty, though, sit tight. There's too much insane upside. So if he figures this out by the end of the year, come next year.
I don't want to start him, though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care.
The only way I have him is if I'm in a situation where I can bench him every week.
Sure. And then a rebuild, you can.
Right.
If you're in a dynasty rebuild, if you're a contender, I think you move him for something to a rebuilder.
Right.
I mean,
somebody will buy him.
Sure, and they should
because of the upside.
A rebuilder should buy him.
Right.
So I just want to make it clear. I get it. For this year, I understand. You weren't starting Josh Allen his rookie year either. And I'm not saying that Anthony Richardson can be Josh Allen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's really easy to jump off the growing pain train. It's really, really easy to do that. And you can be sorry more often than not. Like, these guys were drafted and put on NFL teams for a reason. There is something there. And yes, he only completed 10 passes, but there were moments where I was like, hey, that looked much better. And that's what it's going to have to be. Anthony Richardson was drafted as a project.
Right.
And you're going to, as far as dynasty goes, you're going to have to deal with some baby steps and some real, like, there's going to be moments where it's like, oh, there has been, where it's just like, there's no way this is going to work. And people were saying that about Josh Allen, like, oh, he is way too inaccurate. He can't.
Now look at him.
And look at him now. So in a dynasty, I don't move off of him if you're a rebuilder. Just stay. You might as well stay patient anyways. What do you have to lose? You're rebuilding.
Yeah.
So stay patient, start him, bench him. I don't care what you do. But if you are a contender in a dynasty league, you should go to those 2, 3, 4 rebuilders at the bottom of your league and be like, hey, Anthony Richardson, like, do you have, but somebody might have some patience there and you can get something right now to keep pushing you forward. Jonathan Taylor is expected to return to practice this week. He could end up playing this week. If he doesn't, Goodson or Sermon? Texans have the 8th best rush defense.
This week, neither, but Goodson
looks much better.
Much better.
He does. I mean, it's still like, yeah, I would want to fade this whole thing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be in a bye week corner, but if you're in an injury corner and it's one or the other, give me Goodson.
Yeah, I'm going Goodson.
Yeah, avoid all the receivers. Listen, I thought, and maybe this will hold true going forward a little bit as Richardson gets better. I still like Josh Downs. Now, the beauty of having Josh Downs in a redraft league is you got him off the waivers. You don't have to start him anyway.
Right.
I'm going to hold. Because if you have a team that's looking good, like, hey, I could be like a championship team this year, having Josh Downs on your bench week 14 might not be the worst thing ever. Because if Richardson does start to figure things out, only just a little bit, could be enough for somebody like Josh Downs to land you 10 to 15 fantasy points.
I don't like this offense.
I don't either, but Josh Downs' metrics are too good. Again, if he's in your way and it's like, oh man, I understand if you got to move off of him. But if Josh Downs isn't in your way and he's just at the bottom of your bench, personally, I will hold him. I just feel like, dude,
I think there's a lot of people especially this week. There's a lot of people on waivers that I'd rather have over Josh Downs.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean Jalen McMillan,
Cedric
Tillman,
Sterling Shepard.
But like, if you're a 6-1 team, are you still gonna make that move? Or are you going to be like, I think I'm going to hold on to Josh Downs because he's just too damn good?
If you're 6-1 and you can get Jalen McMillan over Josh Downs, yes.
I'm going to hold tight on the Josh Downs end of season thing.
All right.
There's always those couple guys where at the end of the year, it's like, oh, I'm so glad I held on to him. It's going to take a little bit of growth.
A lot of bit of growth.
But you're talking from now to week 14, 15. If they keep going with him, it could happen. His ADOT is 6 yards. Like
seven weeks to figure out how to dump the ball off.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will eat the crow. I have no dude. I have this thing. I think Josh Downs is so good, and I understand the receiving thing or the quarterback play. I get it. But I'm going to hold.
Okay.
CJ Stroud coming off his worst performance as an NFL quarterback. That probably won't happen again.
No.
Colts are 23rd against the pass. Smash start.
Yeah.
Don't panic. Joe Mixon, smash start. 31st ranked rush defense. He looks incredible when he's amazing.
He's so good.
Derrick Henry averages 125 yards per game in 7 games. Saquon, 110 in 6 games. In his 4 games, Mixon is averaging 100 yards per game. Smash start. You're happy you got him, and he was kind of a steal when you got him at this point. Yep. I know in my redraft league, I've got him and Kyron. I'm loving every second of it.
Joe Mixon.
He's a lot of people's RB2.
Yeah.
He really is. Tank Dell, basically the rest of the offense. Yes, Dalton Schultz struggled in the passing game last week without Nico. Stephon Diggs had 81% of the snaps. Tank Dell played 72%, and Xavier Hutchinson had 64%. I think you and I both agree Diggs is still a 1. Dell is still a flex with obvious upside.
Right.
Didn't quite step in the way I had hoped. But
yeah, it was just a rough day.
It was. It was a rough day,
yeah.
Man. The Packers they did their thing and made things really difficult.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz or Dalton Kincaid rest of the season.
I still want Dalton Schultz the rest of the season.
All right, we're going to come back to this at the end of the season. We're going to see who fared better. It's probably going to be pretty close.
This week was a bad week to judge it. But
how'd that poll go that you threw up on Twitter?
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid won that poll.
61% of people were indeed wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You tried, man. You tried.
I did.
And I was like, oh man, this is going to make me look terrible. And then I was like, oh wait, never mind.
Next week, I think Dalton Schultz, if he plays.
I have to admit, I was surprised that was like 61 to 39% or something like that. Isn't that what it ended up being? I was surprised that it was that heavily outweighed to Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
So it surprised me a little bit. All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Titans at the Lions. So Mason Rudolph essentially did his best Will Levis impression last week.
Oh man!
Against a weak Lions secondary. You gotta stay away.
You'd love
from
to be able to start a quarterback against the Lions secondary, but you're not.
No.
I think Levis comes back, but even still, I don't love it.
No, even against this Lions secondary, I'm out.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard,
he was going to explode last week. Mm-hmm. 16 carries in the first half and then they didn't run the ball again. He finished with 16 carries.
That's terrible.
And he had like 67 yards or whatever in the first half, and they just avoided it the rest of the game.
Yeah, he's going to be a tough start, but I think especially this week. I don't know, man. The Titans are just a mess. I guess if you have Pollard, you start him. I would try to find somebody who's so running back needy, and maybe you can get something else. This thing just does not look good. And Ridley was terrible. Well, I mean, and now Hopkins is gone. I'm out, dude. I don't want anything to do with it. Jared Goff, man, is he a set it and forget it quarterback? Like, what are we doing?
I think so. He's so accurate all of a sudden.
Yeah, how about him against the Titans this week? That's still a tough defense.
It's a tough defense, but I think he'll be fine.
Okay. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
For this week. David Montgomery got a little banged up last week. Returned, but he didn't look like David Montgomery.
Didn't look great.
Keep an eye on that leg injury. Gibbs. Good Lord. I mean, when they're both healthy, you start them both. But, man, Gibbs took that little bit of extra time and
that
really took advantage of it.
Where he took off down the right side of the field.
What a move.
At 100% speed.
Yes, that was ridiculous.
Juked a guy. Like, when they call themselves, Sonic and Knuckles?
Yeah, yep.
They're not kidding. He is Sonic. That guy moves.
That is an awesome running back tandem name.
I love
it.
Yeah.
As a huge Sega Genesis and Sonic fan, that is just so cool to me.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Titans are 7th against the rush, but listen, it's a smash start. If Monty plays, you smash start.
Yep.
You better not ever question Jahmyr Gibbs.
Don't. Yeah, no.
But listen, remember this is a tough Titans defense, so just keep that in mind. But I think they'll be okay.
I think so.
Amon-Ra gets a bump with Jamison Williams missing time. Yeah, what are we doing here?
Come on, dude.
Come on, this time PEDs.
What? I just don't get it.
Someone messaged me today and said, I'm trying to buy Jamison Williams. This is in a dynasty league of 14 man. Said the owner wants a first. And I was like, I don't know. That literally comes down to because the talent's there.
Yeah.
That's
fine.
Yeah. I have no doubt about that. But you have to ask yourself and convince yourself one way or the other, is he going to figure this out or not?
Yeah.
Is he going to mature up or not?
He's either hurt or
suspended.
Or
for a short stretch, kicking ass.
Right.
So it's like, you're going to have to, you got to weigh that.
It's a first round pick worth
if you are a guy sitting there like he's going to fix himself, this will be fine. Like if you're convinced of that, I'm fine paying that.
Yeah,
I think he is that good.
He is,
especially if you're a rebuilder, which this guy is. He has multiple firsts, multiple seconds, and he's like, I want to try to turn some of these into some younger, already proven guys. And it's like, well, he is proven.
Yeah,
he just needs to prove that he can stay on the field.
Right.
That's all there is to it, outside of injury.
Right.
So.
Somebody's got to step up and fill that role because he was 5th in route win rate and had 19% of the target share.
How about Sam Laporta?
I think so.
I mean, come on, man.
Has to be him.
You think you got to get this going.
Has to be him.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Start him with more confidence this week than you normally would.
Right.
But it is against the Titans.
Still temper your expectations for this whole offense.
Strong agree. All right, let's move on to our last game, and it's the Falcons at the Buccaneers. Yeah, we were off the Cousins train last week. A lot of media outlets were saying smash start, and we did not. Pat ourselves in the back, take a victory lap there.
Yep.
Michael Penix got a little...
We had a Michael Penix sighting.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same as when we saw Drake May.
No.
When Drake May came in garbage time, we were like, something's going to happen here.
Yeah.
This is not the same.
No. It's still Kirk's gig.
Yeah.
Come on. Bucs are 29th against pass. Get right game?
I hope so.
It should be. This should be a really good game, but it is a division game.
It's always weird.
Got to remember that. It can be really weird games. Bijan Robinson had a huge game last week. 21 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. 3 catches for 40 yards. That's what you want to see.
That's what you expect every week.
Are we still selling high?
Yes.
If you're winning.
If you're winning,
you're still selling high?
No, you're going to keep them if you're winning.
Okay.
If you're losing, sell high.
Yeah, I can
especially
get that.
After this week.
Yeah, in redraft, we're talking.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Don't sell them in a dynasty.
No.
Unless you want to give them to me, then I'll take them. But
yeah, this should continue, I hope, this week.
Yeah.
I think Algier.
I hope so.
Something's going on with Algier.
Yeah, he didn't touch the ball hardly at all.
No, he's not on the injury report. I think he did get a little dinged up, but that doesn't seem to be showing. So good, no tag for him. Unless you're a Robinson owner, then you would kind of wish that maybe Algier would be out of the way some.
Right.
Drake London, 8 targets, and he turned into 6 catches for 63 yards and a score against a stout Seahawks secondary. Stout Seahawks secondary. I said it. You kind of made me say it, but I said it.
Yeah, you did. You admitted it. And they proved true.
Yeah.
The only person who had a good game was Drake London, outside of Bijan Robinson, but I'm talking through the pass. It was Drake London and pretty much nobody else.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Pitts. But
I guess.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. I still think they're not great against the run.
Well, clearly.
But I think they're tough against the pass.
Very
I will give you that. I think they're tough against the pass.
Yeah.
But weekly receiver 1 for London. Darnell Mooney. Bounce back against the Bucs.
I think he should be okay against a softer defense.
I'll flex Mooney this week.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
Does he listen to us?
I don't know. Throwing us a big middle finger.
Yeah, because since we talked about him, he's had 7 catches for 88 yards, 3 for 70, and 7 for 65. Hasn't gotten into the end zone yet, but I can almost guarantee it's coming because the guy hates the rabbit hole. I'm pretty sure.
He does hate us. It's all right. Keep hating us and keep killing it.
Yeah.
I've got stock in Kyle Pitts, and I held.
Yeah.
I held.
Yeah, we'll keep talking smack. Maybe we'll keep
held
doing good.
In a dynasty league that I'm competing in, and I held in a redraft that I'm kind of up top, but I'm kind of struggling. When I look at the points for and points against, I'm like, oh man, I've gotten lucky a lot of weeks. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to keep starting Kyle Pitts, and this is a good week to keep starting him as well.
Yeah, but don't talk positively about him because it might go the other way.
Kyle Pitts, you're terrible.
You're an awful tight end. So,
but yeah, he's a start.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield lost his dudes.
Dude,
I was so bummed out.
Man,
why are they?
Why are we out there?
What are we doing? I don't know.
He could have had we're talking possibly an MVP vote.
For Baker, I know. I've become such a huge fan of Baker Mayfield.
I still am. I'm still rooting for him. I want this team to be good because of him. I hope it's going to hurt, but I hope it doesn't hurt too much.
So, Todd Bowles was not lying.
No.
This is a hot hand approach, but give me Bucky of the 3.
Yeah, I guess so.
Give me Bucky of the 3.
Watch the injury tag.
Yes. Yes. But listen, if I have to pick, it's like, oh, you're going to have to pick one. Gun to your head. Give me Bucky. He looks better than all of them.
Yeah.
Sean Tucker he's a tough running kid, but I really like Bucky. And I was down on him a little bit coming in. Ty was not. Ty was high on Bucky. Not high, but he was kind of championing for him a little bit against my words. And he's right. Mike Evans and Godwin both. I mean, Evans will be out till like week 11, 12. Godwin's done for the year.
Yeah.
Jalen McMillan. He was an ad this week.
Yep.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I got to pick between the two, give me McMillan.
I agree. But Sterling Shepard does have that connection with Baker.
Yep.
All the way back to Oklahoma. So
yep, I agree.
There is that. And he's a good receiver. He's just buried on a depth chart with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So
right.
Jalen McMillan was involved early in the season. He scored a touchdown already. I think him and Baker should be pretty good.
Yeah.
My question is, which one gets which role? Do you think McMillan goes the Mike Evans role and Sterling Shepard the Godwin role? Because I'd almost say it's the other way around.
I think so.
Yeah, I think McMillan gets the Godwin. Sterling Shepard's more of the Mike Evans.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I think it kind of just goes back to the Mike Evans week is a Godwin week. I think we might have that problem here.
Maybe, but for overall, I'll take McMillan.
I think so too.
Okay. K. Dotton. Here we go.
Dude.
Here we go. He's going to get a definite bump.
Yeah.
8 catches for 100 yards last week.
Yeah, dude.
Man. He essentially has just kind of become Baker's number one guy.
Yeah. If you're a K. Dotton owner, like myself, you got him for free off of waivers.
Yeah.
And now he's your tight end 1. So
I played the tight end carousel in a league. I had him, dropped him. A couple weeks went by. Had him, used him, dropped him. But I lost him for good now.
Yeah, he's gone now.
Yep. Well, it's just like, am I supposed to sit here and be like, eventually Evans and Godwin will both get hurt?
Right.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
He was giving me anywhere from 5 to 8 PPR points a week.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it was. But if you held on to the guy, good for you, because this is going to be a big bump.
Yeah.
All right, that's our last game. Nick's Week 8 boom list. Let's go.
List.
Take it away, Nicholas.
All right. Ooh, I like that. We got Bo Nix versus the Panthers. They're 25th against the pass. Bo Nix has looked pretty good the last couple weeks. I'm riding that hot hand. Sam Darnold versus the Rams. They're 18th versus the pass, but I think Sam Darnold wants this get-right game after losing a tough one to the Lions. I'd like to say that he bounces back pretty big. Jordan Mason versus the Cowboys. They're 27th versus the run. They're going to have to start relying on him because Ayuk's done. Kareem Hunt versus the Raiders. They're 23rd versus the run. He's been the guy there, and maybe the new news with Hopkins showing up to the practice might change things, but I still like Kareem Hunt. Justin Jefferson versus the Rams. I'm pairing him with Sam Darnold this week. They're 18th, like I said, against the pass, so I'm pretty comfortable starting Justin Jefferson any week, but this week should be pretty good. I've got Drake London versus the Bucs. They're 29th versus the pass, and he's getting all the targets, so continue that. This one we mentioned, Tucker Kraft versus the Jaguars. They're 29th versus the tight ends, and he's been a red zone target. And then I have Arizona versus Miami. Even with Tua back, I kind of like Arizona's defense. Tua's, who knows? We don't know what we're going to see.
That would be my only. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That would be my only one. I like the list. The defense scares me a little bit, but if it's only the defense, then I don't care.
Pretty good after that.
Yeah, right? All right, that's it. You got any final thoughts, Nick?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing. Head empty.
Mitchell, you got anything?
I'm going to say right now, this time of year, I'm looking ahead to the playoff schedule. Check your team out, see what your playoff schedule is. You might be able to make some moves now that could be really helpful.
Yeah, if you're a Jets owner, sell some players.
Yeah, that playoff schedule is really bad. It's really bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that a little bit. I said it, I think, a couple shows ago. Like, this is the time of year where the little moves, the little tiny moves, you're looking ahead, like some bench moves, little flexi type players that you can add. You're looking ahead. I totally agree with that, Mitchell. It doesn't have to be flashy. Most leagues that I've won, most redraft leagues that I've won, which is a lot. It's always the tiny, insignificant stuff that kind of comes to fruition at the end of the year. Like, oh, glad I snagged him while I did. Yep. It's stuff like that, looking 5 weeks ahead. If your team's doing that well and you have the space where you can cut and move and shift some guys around, you should. Yep. Little trades that you offer members of your league where the members are like, yeah, I guess I'll take that. We'll take that trade. And it's like, they're not looking at the next 6, 7, 8 weeks. They're not looking at it or the playoff schedule.
Pay attention to your Jets, pay attention to your 49ers. And if you can get a trade for Jordan Mason for a Buccaneers player or a Falcons player who are going to be playing the Panthers.
The Buccaneers have got a fantastic playoff schedule. Weeks 15, 16, and 17. The Panthers are in there. I think there is one tough defense, but I totally agree. If you can get your hands on some Bucks, here, I'll pull them up right now before we sign off here. The Bucks in week 15, 16, and 17. it's the Chargers. Actually, we'll go. Let's go from week 13 on.
Sure.
Actually, we'll go after the bye.
Sure.
So week 11's the bye. After that, it's the Giants.
Mike Evans comes back for that game.
Yep. Giants. Week 13, Carolina. Week 14, the Raiders. Week 15, the Chargers. That's a tougher defense,
Sure.
but they should be okay. Then Dallas,
Mhm.
and then Carolina in the final.
Yep.
So some Bucks players, if you can get your hand, maybe you're in really good shape and you can go buy Mike Evans right now,
Do it.
and it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
I
Do it.
don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was fun. Nick, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
That's it for today's show. Again, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and giving us your support. Remember, our PPR Superflex Dynasty rankings are now available in the description. Just click the corresponding link. They are available as well on our Twitter. I promise we'll start doing better updating those. This is year one. Bear with us. Also, check the description for instructions on how to get your trades graded. Join us next time for our Week 8, 4 o'clock Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football game slate preview. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. It's the only way that we survive. See you next time, everybody.
See ya.
Subscribe.